गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। निताय गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद। युगधर्म श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we'll continue our discussion from the Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are about to end chapter 1. Chapter 1 is entitled Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukshetra. So this is the last and the second last verse, verse number 45 and 46. Arjuna is telling to Krishna, Yadi mama pratikaram ashastram shastrapanayah dhartarashtra rane hanyus tanme kshemataram bhavet. Better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It is a custom, according to Kshatriya fighting principles, that an unarmed and unwilling foe should not be attacked. Arjun, however, decided that even if attacked by the enemy in such an awkward position, he would not fight. He did not consider how much the other party was bent upon fighting. All these symptoms are due to soft-heartedness, resulting from his being a great devotee of the Lord. In the last verse, Sanjay Uvacha, Eva muktva Arjuna sankhe rathopastha upavishat visrujya sasharam chapam shokasam vigna manasaha. Sanjay said, Arjun, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Purport. While observing the situation of his enemy, Arjun stood up on the chariot, but he was so afflicted with lamentation that he sat down again, setting aside his bow and arrows. Such a kind and soft-hearted person in the devotional service of the Lord is fit to receive self-knowledge. So that's the end of the first chapter. So this chapter is entitled Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukshetra. It's called Sainya Niriksha Yoga. It's also called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. So this chapter has two sections. The first half talks about the warriors Duryodhan is describing the various warriors, prominent warriors on each side of the battlefield, on both sides. He first talks about Pandava army, and then he talks about his own Kaurava army. So therefore it is called Sainya Nirikshan, Sainya Niriksha Yoga. And the second half is Arjuna's arguments. The possible consequences of fighting this war, the disastrous consequences of fighting this war. Therefore, he is saying, because of these reasons, we should not fight. And this is how he is ending his arguments, almost ending, saying that even if these warriors attack us, even when I am without any weapons, still I will not fight. What does it mean? Ashastram shastrapanayaha yadi mam apratikaram. Ashastram, apratikara means without resisting. Pratikar bina kiye. Ashastram, without my weapons, without having any weapons in my hand. Shastrapanaya, by those who have weapons. Still I will not fight. So this is, we may not understand what it means. So generally, in Kshatriya warfare, you don't fight with someone who is not carrying any weapons. Suppose there are two warriors fighting with each other, and for some reason, the opponent loses his weapon, or his weapon breaks down, gets damaged, broken down. So this warrior has to wait till the other person gets a new bow and arrow, or new gada, or sword, whatever it is. Until the other person is equipped with proper weapons, you cannot continue fighting. Not that chance maar lete hai, chalo usko maar dalte. Aisa nahi. You have to wait. You have to defeat the opponent when he has weapons in his hand. There is a major difference between Kshatriya warfare and terrorism. What is terrorism? Terrorism means you attack someone when the opponent is not prepared, when the opponent doesn't have any weapons in hand, and the opponent is not equal to you. Right? All these people who attack with a bomb blast in some building or in trains or in some restaurant, we had, right, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we had Taj wala attack. When did they attack? In the night, when people were not ready. They were not expecting any such thing. They were not warriors, right? And they were not equal to them. So such kind of attack is called terrorist attack, Atankvad. Whereas a real war, true warfare is between people who are equal in caliber, people who have weapons, same type of weapons, and people who are equipped, alert. They have to be alert. If someone is not ready to fight, if someone is not paying attention, then you have to challenge and make him alert, and then you fight. There is a case in the Mahabharata where one warrior called Bhurishrava, he was fighting with Satyaki. So Satyaki was unconscious at one point of time. And Bhurishrava took his chance and he was about to cut off his head with his sword. So Krishna immediately warned Arjun, look, your student Satyaki is about to get killed by this enemy. Do something about it. Protect him. So Arjun immediately took an arrow and he cut off Bhurishrava's hand, which was holding the sword to cut off the head of Satyaki. So Bhurishrava was surprised. He said, how could you do this, Arjun? Don't you know the rules of the war? How can you attack me without challenging me, without alerting me? But Arjun said, that's what you were doing. You were attacking Satyaki when he was not prepared. Right? He was unconscious. And you were about to cut off his head. You were breaking the principle of warfare. I just acted to protect my person. You break the rule. I have to break the rule to defeat you. Similarly, in the Mahabharata, on the last day, you find Ashwathama. Ashwathama got angry and he had a special weapon from Lord Shiva. And he decided to attack the Pandavas who were all sleeping. He wanted to kill all the 5 Pandavas, so he went inside the camp in the middle of the night. So usually the war is not fought after sunset. Sunrise to sunset. That is the period of fighting. But Ashwathama thought these people have cheated, did all kinds of treachery. So I will go in the middle of the night. Actually, he saw a crow and an owl sitting on a tree. And the crow had some eggs. And the owl was attacking the crow. So he took it as a signal. This is how I should attack. Kill the sleeping people. Owl is attacking the sleeping crow. So nature is giving me a signal how you should attack the enemy. So he went with a sword, entered into the camp of the Pandavas, where he saw 5 sleeping people whom he thought they were the 5 Pandavas. And wanting to finish the Pandavas, he took out his sword and cut off their heads. Later he got to know that they were not the 5 Pandavas, they were the sons of the 5 Pandavas, 5 sons of Draupadi. But then it was too late. And then he took the 5 heads, went to Duryodhan, wanting to please him, make him happy. See, finally, what you wanted to achieve all your life, I achieved now. All the 5 Pandavas are dead. But then Duryodhan touched the head of the 5 men, and then he understood, these are not the heads of the 5 Pandavas. They're too soft. They're children's heads. And then he said, you unnecessarily killed 5 children, sleeping children. He disapproved the whole act. The point is how this was against the rules of the war. To attack someone who is not alert, not equipped with proper weapons, and not equal to you. A Maharathi cannot attack an ordinary soldier. A Maharathi has to fight with a Maharathi. An Atirathi has to fight with another Atirathi. So that's the rules of combat. But then here Arjuna is saying that even if I am not carrying any weapons, and if the opposing army attacks me when I am weaponless, still I won't mind. I won't mind. So, but I don't want to fight the war. I don't want to cause unnecessary destruction. So why is Arjun saying like this? Is it because he is afraid to fight? Is it because he is lacking skills to fight? Lack of experience? Lack of proper resources? No, our Acharya is explaining, Prabhupada is explaining here, because he is soft-hearted. He is soft-hearted because he is a great devotee, a great practicing spiritualist, great devotee of Krishna. Because of being a great devotee, naturally you are soft-hearted. And you don't want to cause unnecessary pain to others. Therefore, Arjuna is saying, let us not fight the war. Dharta rashtra rane hanyus tanme kshemataram bhavet. I would consider that to be better than fighting the war. Getting killed is better than killing others. So getting killed is only a little pain of losing your body. But killing others, you're killing millions of people, that will invite much more pain in the future. Sinful reactions, which is unbearable to accept. I don't mind going through the pain of death at the hands of Kauravas. So all these symptoms are due to soft-heartedness. So generally, as a devotee, as a person starts practicing spiritual life, starts practicing devotional service in Krishna consciousness, he is expected to develop saintly qualities. He or she is expected to develop saintly qualities. Saintly qualities means forgiveness, compassion, non-violence. These are all general saintly qualities. And if a person claims to be a devotee but is not displaying these qualities, then there is some problem in his practice, right? Of course, it takes time to develop, not that overnight all these qualities will develop. But as a practitioner, we must be introspective. Am I developing these qualities? Otherwise, simply saying that I'm a great devotee, this and that. But if you don't display these qualities, then it is hypocrisy. But Arjun, because of being a great devotee, he displayed all these qualities. We find similar characteristics in all great devotees of the Lord. Prahlad, 5-year-old boy, right? Although he was attacked so much by his father, attempted to be killed in so many ways, still he continued to remain soft-hearted. He didn't have revengeful feelings towards his father or anyone else, towards his teachers, towards his friends and associates. He remained compassionate. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we find the story of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was born in a non-Hindu family. This is 500 years back in Bengal during Lord Chaitanya's period. So because he was born in a non-Hindu family, but he was still practicing, he was chanting Hare Krishna regularly. So his community people rejected him, saying, how can you do this? You are practicing some other religious principles. This is bad. But he said, so what? So many Hindus have converted into our religion. If one person gets converted into Hinduism, what's the problem? What's the loss? But they couldn't appreciate this argument. They said, if you don't give up this practice, we will punish you. And what is the punishment? In those times, the punishment was beating someone in marketplaces publicly. Public chorahe mein pitai karna. So that was the punishment prescribed. So he said, I don't care. I don't mind. Even if you break my body into thousands of pieces, Haridas Thakur said, each and every piece of my body will start vibrating the names of Krishna. That was too much for these people. They said, this guy has to be punished immediately. Take him to marketplace and beat him up until he dies. So they took him, first marketplace, started beating him with that, क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Chabuk se, whip. And he was he was crying in pain. But he was not dead. Next place, next marketplace, again pitai, next. So usually no one would survive more than 2 or 3 places, 2 or 3 beatings. But he continued, 3, 4, 5. In this way, it lasted for 22 marketplaces. And he was still alive. So finally, these people, marne wale log, they said, who are you? Are you some demigod, some saint, mystic? What are you? Please forgive us. It seems we have committed a big offense against you. And you are protected by someone. Jai Radha Gopinath, Bhagavan ki. You appear to be a great mystic yogi, some saint, because of which you are not dying. Who are you? Please let us know. So Haridas Thakur, he didn't say anything, but all the time when he was getting beaten up, what he was praying, what he was saying? Internally, he was praying to Krishna, saying, please, these people are not the culprits. These people are simply carrying out their orders. They are not culprits. So please don't consider their offense. Please forgive them. This is compassion. Compassion upon people who are mistreating you. That's extraordinary, right? Here, when we feel abuse, when we perceive some abuse, we want to curse them, think ill about them, destroy them. But here is someone who knows these are the people who are beating me mercilessly. And still he's praying for their welfare. That's extraordinary compassion. So that's a sign of a great devote. Of course, these people then eventually left him. He said, if you don't die, the king will punish us. So please die. Please do something to save our life. So Haridas Thakur said, okay, I will pretend that I am dead. So they checked his pulse, they checked his heartbeat, and it was 0. Mar gaya. And then he was thrown into the Ganga River. And then they left. And then they reported to the king, he's dead. We threw his body into the Ganga, and then he's gone. So Haridas Thakur remained in that unconscious state in the Ganga for some time, swam across the river, and then he walked away. As if nothing had happened. Later the king got to know that he is alive, still alive. And then he understood, you are not an ordinary person. The king was also transformed. The point is how great devotees display these extraordinary saintly qualities. Titikshava karunika suhridas sarvadehinam ajata shatrava shanta sadhava sadhubhushana. Titikshava, extremely tolerant. The tolerance is another saintly quality. In spite of the greatest abuse, mistreatment, all kinds of injustice being done, a real sadhu is titikshava, tolerant, not reactive. Karunika, very compassionate. Suhrada sarvadehinam, he is friendly to all living entities. Ajata shatrava means he doesn't have any enemies. Although people may consider him enemy, but he doesn't treat anyone as an enemy. Shantaha, peaceful at all times. Sadhava sadhubhushana. These are the ornaments of a saint. Sadhubhushan. These are the qualities that decorate, ornament a saint. So here Arjuna is displaying a similar quality of compassion. So in this first chapter, we see how there are so many names given, mentioned here. Some people say, first chapter is not really a Gita, part of the Gita. The real Gita begins in second chapter. These people argue. Because that's where Arjuna's questions begin and Krishna's answers, replies begin. So Gita begins from chapter 2. But that is not true. The battlefield setting, the Mahabharata war wala setting is important to understand the message of the Gita. In that context, the situation in which Arjuna was seated, Arjuna was positioned, and the challenges he was facing, and the questions he was asking, that context is important to understand the Gita's central message. Although not everyone is going to face that situation of war, but still, that context helps in understanding, appreciating the message. So in today's times, we usually fall victims of taking emergency decisions. So in this case, Arjun's case, we see how Arjun was in a most critical situation, about to fight a world war. But still he is taking time to pause and think. What is good? Is it really beneficial? Is it really helpful? Is it going to be good for everyone? Is it good for me? So generally, we take quick decisions in emergency times, and we lose our balance. Ki, what is the right, what is the wrong thing? It is said that you should not take a decision. Don't promise anyone when you are very happy. Don't reply when you are angry. And don't take a decision when you are sad. So when you are happy, extremely happy, people generally go to parties, and in that excited state, they promise, especially in a drunken state, they promise, aisa karunga, vaisa karunga. But then later they realize that was not a reality. I said something, but I was not in a proper state of mind. But then if you have promised something to someone, then they expect you to fulfill the promise. Similarly, replying to someone when we are angry, that is also dangerous. Especially it happens in offices or even in general relations. If someone has said something and we get angry, and then we reply immediately, but then later we regret. Words can be sometimes more painful than arrows and bullets. So never reply when we are in an angry mood. And never take a decision when we are in a sad state of mind, when we are in a depressed state of mind. Because any such responses is going to be harmful, destructive. So Arjun here is thoughtful. In spite of being in the most difficult situation of life, he is introspective and thoughtful. What should be done? And the best decision he took was to consult Krishna. When he was unsure what to do, how to do, he decided to check with Krishna. So several studies show that 90% of the decisions we make are based on emotions. Coming under emotional pressure, we take a decision. But any decision taken based on emotions is not going to be logical. So when we come out of that emotional phase, which can take a few minutes sometimes, or a few hours, or a few days, then when we think about it, then pros and cons, what logically we can come to a proper decision. So therefore Krishna is spending so much time to Arjun, giving time to Arjun, explaining the philosophy. What is the nature of our existence, the nature of our identity, the nature of the material world, the purpose of life. He spends long time, 18 chapters he discusses. And then Arjun is able to decide, how to fight, why to fight. Therefore, he fought in the best possible manner, and he came out victorious. So in the Mahabharata, we find the story of Yudhishthir, who was one of the most peaceful characters, never coming under the influence of emotions. So when the most critical time happened of the Lakshagriha, when the palace was burnt with fire, and then the gambling match happened, when Draupadi was insulted, in all these situations, Yudhishthir remained composed, whereas everyone else were getting angry, agitated, coming under various emotional conditions. You should do this. This is what you should do. This is how you should retaliate. Injustice or fight back. People will give 100 opinions, right? And what decision to take in that emergency situation? We need a peaceful, composed mind to come to a proper decision. So there was one instance in the Mahabharata where the Pandavas were in the forest, Vanvas period. And they met this one person, one Brahman, who wanted to do a yajna. And the yajna requires some special wood. So he had collected a wood, but one deer, took that wood and started running away. So the Brahman was like running after the deer, but then he couldn't catch the deer. So he came to the Pandavas, Yudhishthir, and said, please help me get the wood, because I want to do this yajna. So they said, okay, we will help you. So they tried to catch the deer, but the deer couldn't be caught. The deer ran away, escaped. So they were wondering what to do, how to help this person. And they were tired and exhausted, thirsty and hungry. So Yudhishthir said, let us at least relax some time, take rest. But we are thirsty. How to find water in the forest? So he requested Sahadev to please climb a tree and check where there is any water body nearby. So he climbed a tree and he said, yeah, not very far, there is a river. Let us go and drink water. So Sahadev went to collect water. And he went to the Talab river. And he is about to drink water when he heard a voice. Stop! You have no right to drink water from here. This lake belongs to me. One voice was heard saying. Said, who are you? Said, whoever I am, this belongs to me. You should not drink the water. If you drink this water, you will die. Sahadev said, who are you? How can you challenge me? This is a public property. I am going to drink. So he went inside and drank. And the moment he drank, he fell unconscious, almost dead. And Yudhishthira and others are waiting. Where is Sahadev? Pani lene gaya, abhi tak aaya nahi. So next, Nakul goes. Nakul goes to the river lake, and then he also hears the same voice. He also doesn't listen to the voice. So the voice says, if you want to drink water, you answer my questions. I have a set of questions. If you answer my questions properly, then you can drink the water. But Nakul also doesn't listen. He drinks the water, he falls unconscious. Then who goes? Arjun goes. Arjun also meets with the same fate. Drinks the water, doesn't care to answer the questions. He falls unconscious. Then Bhim goes. Same thing happens to him. And Yudhishthira is wondering, now look, imagine, what will you, if you are in Yudhishthira's position, right? Already thirsty. And the brothers are not returning back. He goes and he sees 4 dead bodies. And he's about to drink the water. And he hears this question, Yaksha, saying, stop. Answer my questions first. Now, Yudhishthira, if an ordinary person would simply challenge, right? You killed my 4 brothers and I am so thirsty and we are already in Vanvas, so much trouble is happening to my life and you are adding problem to my life. You don't understand. This is how we would normally react, right? And something is happening, someone is misbehaving with us. But Yudhishthira is composed. And it's okay. I will answer your questions. What are your questions? And then this Yaksha starts asking questions about so many things. He asks dozens of questions. What is the right principle to how to live? What is morality and ethics? What is the goal of dharma? In this way, he asks one after another, so many questions. And Yudhishthira is patiently answering them, not getting agitated. इन्हें पूछ रहे कब खत्म होगा तेरा प्यास लगी है मुझे भूख लगी है. No such thing. One question the Yaksha asked was, what is the most astonishing thing in this world? What is the most astonishing thing? And Yudhishthira answers. He says, Ahanyahani bhutani gacchanti hayamalayam shesha sthavaramicchanti kimascharya matapparam. What can be more astonishing than this? Ahanyahani bhutani. Every day, day after day, gacchanti hayamalayam. There are so many living entities are going to Yamalayam, to the abode of death. Every day people are dying, and we are seeing people dying, going to the abode of death. Still, in spite of seeing death happening everywhere around us, Shesha Sthavaramicchanti. The people who are alive, staying back, they are thinking, I am not going to die. This death, इसको हुआ, मेरे लिए नहीं है ये. शेषा स्थावरम इच्छन्ति. किमाश्चर्यमतःपरम. What can be a more astonishing thing than this? This is Yudhishthira's reply to that question. So the point is how Yudhishthira's astonishment is, in spite of seeing death everywhere, human beings are not trying to find a solution to the problem of death. We are busy enjoying this and that and that and that and that, when the main problem is staring at our face and we don't care about it. How can someone behave like this? This is Yudhishthira's surprise. Therefore, the Vedic scriptures tell us, Uttishta jagrata prapya varan nibodhata. Now that you have achieved a human life, wake up. Wake up, O sleeping souls. Inquire into the real problems of life. So if there are problems, just imagine, suppose we have to go to a different part of the world, some other city. So I have to go to, say, America, for example. So I'll make all preparations. I have to go to New York City. Maybe I got a job there or some education I have to do. So I'll do all preparations, Kaunsa college, where to stay, where to eat, and I will get all information and knowledge and make everything ready. One thing I failed to understand, one thing I failed to inquire. Suppose someone tells us, Arey, New York, very dangerous city. Chori bahut hoti hai, the robbers and everything is there. Underworld gangs are there. So be careful. But if I don't take that warning seriously, and I simply find out, do research about where is the best movie theater and where is the best mall and where is the best football ground and all things, entertainment ke baare mein, but I don't take enough precaution to protect myself from the dangers, then what will happen? I go there with all my money and valuable things, and the very first day I am robbed. And everything is gone. Right? So, when the real danger, I was told about the danger, I was warned about the danger, but I didn't pay attention to the danger. And I got busy inquiring about enjoyment and entertainment. So, क्या बोलेंगे लोग हमको? पागल है कि नहीं? इतना बताने के बाद भी you didn't take precaution. Similarly, Shastra is saying, Yudhishthira is saying here, death, the problem of death is staring at us every moment. And except addressing that problem, we are busy finding solution to all other problems of life. Kimascharyamatapparam. What can be a more astonishing thing than this? So the Bhagavad Gita also tells us, Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam. What are the real problems? The real problems, the main problems are not corruption, not political problems, not economic problems, not illiteracy, not whatever we see problems advertised. They are there. But the real problem, according to the Gita, according to Krishna, is Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. Birth, death, old age, disease. All other problems fall under this category. So if you are not addressing these problems with our education, with our economic development, with our scientific and technological development, if these problems are not addressed, then human effort is considered waste. Human development is considered waste. If so much science and technology is being made, development is made, but if it is not aiming to solve these problems, then that effort is waste. Because in spite of the best technology, best medical advancement, best economic development, people are still facing death. People continue to die, people continue to fall sick, people continue to grow old, and there is a problem of rebirth. So, what is the point of advancement? Where have you really advanced? That is the question scriptures are asking. These problems existed 1,000 years ago. These problems existed 10,000 years ago. And these problems still exist now. So where is the advancement? You call yourself advanced, the problems still remain the same. So advancement kahan pe hua hai? So therefore, Yudhishthira is surprised. And then he continues, the Yaksha continues to ask questions. And finally, Yudhishthira answers all those questions. And the Yaksha is very happy with Yudhishthira, saying, thank you so much. I am really enlightened by your wisdom and knowledge. And I am really happy with you. And let me tell you who I am. He says, I am Yamaraj. I am your father. And I wanted to test you. And now I am happy. So please ask for a blessing. What can I do for you? Again, Yudhishthir, look at his presence of mind. If we were in his position, we would have said, we would have asked some stupid thing. Yudhishthir says, he thinks for a moment, and then he says, the Yaksha asks, you can ask for reviving any of these four brothers. 4 log mein se kisi ko bhi you can ask for his life. So Yudhishthir says, please revive Nakul. So Yaksha is surprised. Nakul? Why Nakul? Why not Bhim, Arjun? He is the most powerful of your brothers. And very soon you are going to face a war. You will need the assistance of your brothers. So Arjun and Bhim will be more helpful. Nakul, not known as a big warrior. Why do you want Nakul? And what is Yudhishthir's reply? He says, look, I am Kunti's son. I am the eldest son, right? I am alive. Madri's 2 sons, both are dead here. So at least one of them should be alive. So Madri is happy. And among the 2, Nakul is elder. So please revive Nakul. Now the Yaksha is more happy after hearing Yudhishthir's broad-mindedness. So I am so happy, I will revive all 5. So this all 5 came back to life. But then the Yaksha is not happy. He wants to do something more for Yudhishthira. He said, ask something. He said, no, I am happy. All 5 brothers are there. I am very happy. Thank you so much. He said, no, I want to give you something more. Then Yudhishthira says, look, very soon our 12-year Vanvas is going to get over. And 13th year is going to begin. 13th year is Agyatvas. Incognito, they have to spend 1 year. So you help us so that we remain unnoticed. Duryodhana and his party don't recognize us, catch us. You help us spend this 1 year without coming to anyone's knowledge. The Yaksha said, don't worry. You roam around anywhere you want. No one will be able to identify you. Even if you go in this fashion, as 5 people, without any disguise, still no one will be able to catch you. So in those times, Yudhishthira, the 5 Pandavas are well-known figures. They were celebrities. Just imagine Shah Rukh Khan walking here and then no one recognizes him. Aisa ho hi nahi sakta, na? Virat Kohli walks in. So that kind of celebrities they were. Arjun was such a celebrity. He was like the best warrior in the whole world. And no one recognizing him was impossible. But the Yaksha says, don't worry. You move around anywhere, no one will be able to identify you. And another blessing he gave. He said, you lost the property, you lost your kingdom in a gambling match, right? Because you didn't know how to play that game. I will teach you. In case you go back to you gain the kingdom, and again, in case Shakuni challenges you for a gambling match, don't worry, you accept the challenge, I will teach you how to win the match. And he taught him the game, the rules of the game, the tricks of the game. So in this way, with the blessings of Yamaraj Yaksha, Yudhishthir and 5 Pandavas begin their 13th year. They go to a kingdom known as Virat. Virat was not very far from Hastinapur. Not very few 100 kilometers. But still, although Duryodhana and his team sent spies everywhere searching for the 5 Pandavas, they just couldn't locate them. Almost towards the end of 1 year, they got a hint. Maybe the 5 Pandavas are residing in this kingdom. And then they attacked Virat. And then the war happened. And finally they identified. But then exactly 1 year had finished. But then they successfully finished the 13-year Vanvas. So the point here is Yudhishthir, how in spite of the most provoking situation, most agitating situation may be, he didn't react. He was thoughtful. Like in the Yaksha case. Although he was afflicted by hunger and thirst, still he answered the questions patiently. And ऐसा नहीं कि कोई भी फालतू जवाब दे दिया. Clear answers, well, logical, shastrically sound, wisdom-filled answers. And he passed the test. Because of which, the 5 Pandavas came back to life. Otherwise, everyone would have been dead. And the war wouldn't have happened only. So that's the nature of a saintly person. No matter what kind of situation we are in. In one article, Prabhupada writes, the greatness of a person is estimated by the ability to tolerate provoking situations. How we can not react in spite of the most provoking situation. We can remain equipoised. We can maintain our balance. No matter what the other person is saying, still we maintain our equanimity. That is the test of a saintly person. So we can be provoked either by greed, either by someone's abusive statements, someone's remarks, or in a miserable condition if you're going through some physical pain, some financial distress, some relationship problems. Everything is a provoking situation. Someone taunting us. Everything is a provoking situation. Because in that provoking situation, we don't think how to respond. But if we can tolerate that provoking situation and give a proper response, that is a sign of greatness. Otherwise, anyone can claim to be great. I know this much knowledge, I have this degree, I have this much wealth. That is not real greatness. How we tolerate provoking situations. So in this case, Arjun is tolerating. Although he was in the midst of the greatest calamity of his life, still he is thinking what could be beneficial for society. Whether it is really beneficial for society. Yudhishthira is thinking, is it how I should answer the questions? So in this way, we find all these characters, great devotees that we read in the Puranic literatures, the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Ramayana and Mahabharata. All these people don't react based on emotions. In spite of going through an emotional struggle, they take time to introspect and then they respond. So in this way, Arjun is now surrendering his bow and arrow. He says, I don't want to fight. Eva muktva Arjuna sankhe rathopastha upavishat visrujya sasharam chapam shoka samvegna manasaha. Arjun, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrow and sat down in the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. So he was overwhelmed with grief and he's saying, I don't want to fight. So the bow, Dhanush, represents our determination. So if Arjuna is giving up the bow, that means he's determined not to fight now. He gave up the determination to not fight, to fight. And then he is now going to consult Krishna. But later, in the 18th chapter, we find, having received the knowledge of the Gita, he says, now I will fight. Regained his determination to fight, and then he goes on to fight. So that's what the knowledge of the Gita enables us. A person who has lost determination and will to fight, will to live in this world, regains his will and determination after understanding the message of the Gita. Therefore, we all should study the Gita to regain the purpose of life, regain the motivation to live life, and continue living with a purpose and lead a very happy and satisfying life. So I'll stop here. If anyone has any comments or questions, we can take.
Hello. As you said that Arjun was spiritual, he was soft-hearted and compassionate. But in today's time, keeping these qualities, today's time people take advantage of that and consider that they are weak and loose. They can not even or give us that type of answers. They are not our type of level. So they don't consider that they are the person to belong with us, and they consider our weak. So how to handle with that people?
Yeah. So soft-hearted doesn't mean weak-hearted. Soft-hearted means I am sensitive to others. I care about others. We shouldn't, just because of soft-heartedness, we shouldn't allow others to exploit us. We have to be tactful, we have to be intelligent, protect ourselves from getting exploited. At the same time, if someone is really in need of some care and concern, a soft-hearted person will be willing to extend and support that person. So in this case, Arjun, he is not getting exploited by Kauravas. On the battlefield, he is concerned, why unnecessarily all these people have to die for my sake? So, yeah, so we should be careful. People don't exploit and take advantage of our being sensitive. Hare Krishna, thank you so much for your kind attention.
Harmonium.